We are online. Vanakkam, sister.
Vanakkam, Tambi. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. We are very glad to invite you to our channel from Australia. But I got really shocked when you spoke Tamil because how did you get to know Tamil?
Nan Tamil Kathukuran.
Mm,
I was learning some Tamil when I was in
mm,
Tamil Nadu.
mm,
So எனக்கு Tamil kunjum பேசுறேன். I can
mm.
speak and understand a little Tamil. So it's
Okay.
very fun. It's a good language.
Wow. But it's very difficult for you to learn it, right? Because it has no
Yes.
similarity with English.
No, nothing.
Absolutely no.
No,
So,
I had to have a teacher to learn some things.
mm,
And if I remained diligent, I would have learned
mm,
Tamil much better. But I was a
okay,
bit lazy and only learnt a small amount. So,
okay.
but
Mm,
hopefully I can remember over the
mm.
years and still build on my Tamil.
And you came straight to Tamil Nadu or some other place in India first?
I arrived in India in 2019. I
Okay.
was in Rishikesh for the first
Wow.
time.
Mm,
And I just did my yoga teacher training, and that's when I fell in love with India.
wow. So, what
Yeah.
attracted you to Tamil Nadu?
um, that happened by pure coincidence.
Mm,
It was like divinely guided. Someone had, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what I was doing. I wanted to learn and deepen my spirituality.
my preconception is you must have attracted to Tamil Nadu because of Ramana Maharishi. Is it right?
I think so. And the great
Mm,
Arunachala Mountain.
mm,
There's a lot of power in Tiruvanamalai, a lot of power. There's a lot of jiva samadhis, places of samadhis,
mm.
and a lot of yogis and rishis have been there over the years. So it naturally attracts people who are needing to go deeper into spirituality. And I think one important thing is that it calls to people, even the foreigners staying there, they know that, especially the long-term foreigners, the place, the mountain calls to people who are on a spiritual path. And when you're done your spiritual development there, then you have to leave.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's the reason you came to Tamil Nadu. And how was your experience in? So you basically spent all your time in Tiruvannamalai or in other places as well?
In a little bit in Rishikesh from time to time because I'm connected with the Kriya Yoga and Guru
Mm,
Dev in Rishikesh. So I've
mm,
learned the Kriya. I've been initiated into Kriya Yoga, and that's kind
mm.
of like another part of my family. I've got family in different parts of India now.
Oh,
So
oh. You mean spiritual family or?
you adopt people when you love them. What can you say? Everybody is family, right?
Yeah, right. I understand. So, how did you first turn towards spirituality, especially Hinduism? Because Westerners are mostly Christians, right? I believe you are Christian by birth, right?
Yes, I was born and raised in a Dutch Christian Reformed church, but when I
Okay.
was 16 years old, I left.
Hmm.
It was not conducive to what I felt inside my heart,
Okay.
and it was completely different the world for me. So I left. I haven't been inside a Christian church since then, basically.
Oh. But what attracted to Hinduism rather than Buddhism or Islam or something like that?
That's interesting. I've been through the journey.
Hmm.
I've experienced Islam. I even experienced an exorcism
Hmm.
with the reading of the Quran. I've been to witness this as well because I was working with energy healing and I
Hmm.
came across a client who had jinn. So I called the local imam and I was so confused at the time. What is this? And
Hmm.
then I learned so much. I have seen that during the reading of the Quran, there is great, bright white light and the
Hmm.
whole room was saturated with it, which is the reason why they use this for this healing purposes.
Hmm.
Um, And I've seen, you know, when I stood in front of the Dalai Lama in 2019, I also experienced great white light,
mm,
so much that I had a trance state come over me and I had to sit down. It was so bright. So I
mm,
have experienced the benefits in many different religions.
mm,
The Hindu religion particularly calls to me because it was about 20 years ago.
mm,
My flatmate at the time, we were, you know, in Australia, we share houses to reduce rent, right, to reduce the expenses. And he had introduced me to Shirdi Baba as my
oh,
grandfather,
oh,
and Sai Baba,
mm,
no, yeah, Mir Baba, and then Lord Krishna and Lord Ganesha.
wow,
And at the time, I thought it was so strange, but over the years, the deepening connection
mm,
happened between these great beings. Or Shirley Baba is a dear grandfather to me, and
mm,
I carry a picture of him around everywhere.
mm,
And you know, I have Lord Shiva and Parvati on my necklace, and
wow,
it's just they're like
mm,
my parents, and they're they've been on a journey before us, right? And they have wisdom that we need, knowledge that we can learn from. And so, just by thinking of them, respecting them, praying to them, you can access some of this wisdom. They'll give it to you, and your spiritual journey deepens from that point onwards. And it's very valuable, every single. Now, interestingly, I'm recently exploring the area of Buddhism.
wow,
And
mm,
and there's a direct path to enlightenment very clear here, just like in the eight limbs of Patanjali, a different path, but this is a little bit different, this path to enlightenment. And I'm absolutely fascinated with this.
mm,
So I just, something comes in front of me on my journey, I learn from it. And I think that's really important part of spirituality, or of being, you know, a yogi or mystic or something, but not like the Western version of yoga where you twist your body in funny postures and say you're doing yoga.
yeah,
It's a lot more deeper than that.
yes. Even in India, people believe that to be yoga, but that's not
I
yoga.
know.
Yeah, that's
And I
true.
tell them, no, there's
Mm,
so much more than this.
yes, because they find it very easy to flex their body than flex their mind.
It has to be a combination of both.
Mm,
I think in the body of the meridian system, the body
mm,
works more healthy when the meridians and chakras are in working order. And of course, stretching the muscles helps to work with the meridian system. So for me, I find, like, you know, I'm 56 years old and I have no pain in my body at this stage because
wow,
I'm, you know, doing a combination of energy healing and
mm,
stretching and working with the mind, and even past life karma or
mm,
intergenerational trauma,
mm,
clearing it from the energetic system of my being.
mm,
And you know, the interesting thing about this
mm,
is that when you start to clear this energy, your body gets healthier, but you're on the path to enlightenment. Like, it lightens the energy of the body, and that's the path towards enlightenment.
okay.
And that's why I say to people, just focus on raising your energy vibration, your
Mm,
positive thoughts and positive emotions, but keep, like, you know, your meditation happening. Everything happens in meditation.
mm,
The more meditation you do, the more the gods will hear you. Your energy start to change, and you stand out from the masses when you're doing meditation, and you have
mm,
access to higher power and higher planes, but also insights into how to heal your body, your mind, your emotions.
mm,
So it's just, I mean, meditation's just not for stress relief like the watered down version of meditation in the Western world. It goes really deep. And, you know, the more you do it, the better it gets. It's just like a whole spiritual playground in there. In fact, this world seems a bit boring to me nowadays.
wow. So you play within yourself. So you are, yeah, you have named your channel itself as Racing the Planet Within, right? What is that actually?
Healing the
Healing the
planet
planet
from
from
within.
within. So,
Yeah.
and also it's your aim to spread this knowledge to at least millions of people. You have mentioned it.
I would I
Yeah.
would like to see at
Mm,
least 1 million people gain the knowledge of how to raise their own energy vibration.
Okay.
Because I've done the research in science. I can see there's a lot of research in science and positive psychology that has proven that the higher your positivity ratio is, or what I say, the higher your energetic vibration is, the
Mm.
less pain you have.
Wow.
Anyone who's watching this video has got pain in their body. It's just a matter of focusing on it with a positive emotion, and the pain will disappear. There's a book called Effortless Pain Relief.
Okay.
This foreigner, Westerner, had chronic back pain for 2 years, she says, in bed, crippled.
Wow.
And then she started focusing on the pain with appreciation,
Mm.
and the pain vanished. And she says now she's in her 50s and she has no pain. And I thought to myself, I can do that too. Let me
Wow.
try.
Oh, you are
So
inspired
here
by
I am.
the. Okay. So,
Many things I'm inspired by. It also is the same thing. So yeah.
so this racing our energy is related to our karma also, right?
Yes, sir,
Mm.
absolutely.
Mm.
It is, it's quite, we are complex beings,
Yes.
right? We have
Mm.
many layers of complexity in creating our human world because we've had past lifetimes.
Mm.
And sometimes the karma comes into this lifetime that can cause us physical pain. I
Mm.
was talking to Dr. Aurora in Rishikesh, and a few times I've spoken to him, a very dear friend.
Mm.
And he says in Ayurvedic medicine that there's certain diseases that are caused by past life karma. It's written very clearly, and cancer is one of them. So if
Mm.
you have cancer, it's worthwhile finding someone who can clear your past life karma, then you can heal. So
Oh.
healing anything requires a few different things. One is the mindset. Past life karma is a negative energy vibration, and it starts to create a pattern of negative thoughts and emotions that keep the cancer in place.
Mm.
When you clear the karma, you also have to work with the mind and emotions, right? Because it's all working together to keep this karma happening.
Mm.
It's like I like to say this, people who are overweight
Mm.
are very dedicated to becoming overweight. They have focused and dedicated years and years in
To
order
become
to gain
overweight.
that much weight.
Wow. What do you mean? They focus on eating or at mental level they.
Laziness,
Okay. Mm.
eating, mental, anything. It takes a
Okay.
long time to gain weight, right?
That's
You
true.
can't gain it like this.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with healing. If you want to heal, change your mind towards healing,
Okay.
and you
So.
can actually create the healing. Just like you can create weight or
Mm.
exhaustion or laziness, you can also create healing.
So the this healing first happens in mind, then it happens in body, right?
It depends on which one comes first. It's
Okay.
like, it's a chicken or the egg. Um,
Mm.
because, yes, okay, the body is affected by the emotions, the thoughts, the energetic vibration.
Mm.
But also, like if you're eating a lot of heaviness, for instance, your liver is going to get toxic, right? If you're eating a lot of fats and alcohol, your liver gets toxic. In traditional Chinese medicine, it says when the liver is struggling, anger comes. So you
Mm.
become angry
Oh,
because of the food you're eating, you can become angry. But it's the same opposite effect. If
yes.
you have an anger pattern, your liver can get affected.
You're
So
right.
just being aware of cause and effect on all sides of things. It's a complex system of past life karma, current situation, and even intergenerational trauma, which I believe everyone on the planet carries, because we all have parents, right? We all
Mm.
have ancestors.
Mm.
And one of those ancestors has been through war times, difficulties, suppression, oppression, rape, abuse, anything like this. They didn't know how to resolve those emotions at the time, right? They're told to be strong and get on with life. Well, those patterns start to evolve into an energetic vibration that's passed down. And so we
Mm.
can carry that as well. But we don't know why these patterns happen to us time and time and time again. It's because of stuff in the intergenerational trauma or the karma. Now, intergenerational trauma is one of these key words used in psychology because they've seen how these patterns have evolved. I see it from an energetic perspective.
mm,
in the energy world. I can see that in the patterns and in the energy world. So it's quite fascinating to tie in science and psychology and ancient healing modalities with energy, right? Because then we can work with it. If we can see it from energy, from feelings and emotions and thoughts, we can work with it, changing the energy.
mm.
Yeah,
So, what exactly is this energy?
like prana, chi, ki,
Okay.
energy that flows through our system.
Mm,
You know, it's a thought pattern. If you think of something, I don't know, that you love right now, you
okay.
think of someone you love, it changes something in your body and you feel differently, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then when you
At
feel
emotional level.
angry,
Mm,
how does the body feel? Yeah, the
mm,
best way to describe energy is through the emotional level. It's the easiest way to understand it while we're in our physical body. It's quite vast,
okay.
but while we're here in these physical bodies, the easiest way to understand it is through the emotions and how you're feeling.
Mm.
And then you look at the emotional patterns and everything. It gets quite complex, so many layers. Mm.
So, this works like from the heaviness of mind to the lightness of mind. So, that's the rising of energy, right?
Yes, 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 yes. So, yeah,
Mm,
raising your energetic vibration.
mm,
In the book called Positivity by Dr. Barbara Fredrickson, it's one book that I refer to all the time, made a huge difference on my life
mm,
because I used to have these depression times, these times of depression, because I left home at 16 and felt disconnected. And I used to cry for an hour or two once a week or something and be depressed and get at it. It would just kind of descend upon me like this fog of depression that would push me down into the state.
mm,
After I read this book, this
mm,
she inspires. She says there's 10 forms of positivity that you can use. She's looked at and researched over 300 scientific studies and the evidence that if you have a higher positivity ratio than negativity every day, your life is flourishing. Now, what does a flourishing life look like? Well, there's no pain, stronger immune system, cardiovascular health and well being, low stress, happiness, contentment, easier to communicate with others. There's unlimited potential of a flourishing life, like open mind, open possibilities, anything's possible kind of story.
mm,
And I was like, oh, I want that.
yes.
So
But
I thought, okay.
the reason for leaving your home at 16 is because you are attracted to Hinduism or any other personal reason?
Yeah, it was more of a personal reason.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's a different story for another
Mm,
video, maybe.
okay. But your parents still follow Christianity.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. Because they uh, don't welcome Hinduism into their family. That's common, right? In any Christian family.
I don't know. They have no idea. We don't talk about it. It's not a topic that we talk about. They're not
Mm,
strictly
mm,
Christian anymore. My father's passed away. It's just my mom. But religion is not an
mm.
important thing in the Western world. It's
Oh,
just not important. No, it's not a huge importance. So it doesn't, I mean, it's not a huge like thing. There's
mm,
still religious wars in some
mm,
countries, but in Western world, it's not so much of a deal. Hmm.
mm. And do
So
you
I don't
think,
know anybody who,
mm,
hmm?
and do you think spirituality is for everybody or only the,
Spirituality.
mm,
What kind of spirituality?
what kind of spirituality? Maybe religious take or uh, towards meditation? Because not everybody is doing meditation, not everybody is into religiousness. They are just after money, money, money till death. That's how 90%
Hmm.
of the world works. So, do you think spirituality is still for everybody or only for the chosen ones?
I think it's a choice. It's an
Yeah.
individual choice.
Mm,
If you want an improved lifestyle. But that's an interesting point, though,
mm,
because I've seen, I was pondering and reflecting on this. There's some people who say they are religious and
mm,
they hide behind their name of their religion, but
mm,
they are doing very bad things in the world. And And I think that's not religion, that's not spirituality, right? That's
mm,
something different again. So, what is spirituality and which path does someone follow? Like, for instance, if someone says that they're Muslim, yet they're going to have sex with many, many women, that's not part of that religion, is it?
mm,
They're really focused on something different than that. So,
mm,
it's the same with Hindus or Christians for that matter, and having these addictions and whatever. And it's not part of the religious practice. It's not part of spirituality. To
mm,
me, spirituality is a path, is a way to get out of the physical world and being more expansive. In Buddhism, in Theravada Buddhism, they call it nibbana, which is outside the world of samsara,
mm,
completely outside. And that's outside the world of samsara includes, heaven, hell, earth, animals, like all this is in samsara, and you reincarnate through this whole thing until you get outside into nibbana. So the physical body is kind of like this jail cell, if you like, trapping us into this.
mm, okay. And again,
And
mm,
is it working?
yeah, it's working now.
Yeah.
There's a
Okay.
slight fluctuation in internet. Okay.
Okay.
So I think you are more inclined towards Buddhism, right? Than any other religion.
I don't think I will ever put myself in a box, to be honest. I'm more
Mm,
inclined to mysticism,
okay.
because mysticism includes all belief systems, all religion, spirituality. Mysticism is everything. It's not
But
just choosing
mysticism,
one.
so mysticism is basically about attaining mystic powers, right?
Well, getting enlightenment. The path to
Getting,
enlightenment is mystic powers, of course. I mean, anyone in Hinduism or Buddhism or anything can
mm,
reach these states of being just by their own practice. Very, very powerful, ancient practices in Hinduism where the yogis were mystics and developing superpowers. Yes.
mm,
So the same thing in Buddhism. It's the same thing across the board. But how many people are practicing properly now?
that's
They've
the
got the materialistic version of the religion, right?
yes.
So that doesn't attain superpowers when you're chasing money and then going to the temple and worshiping Lord
Mm,
Shiva. It's not the same focus as being a recluse and going into a cave and meditating for years and years and years. It's a different thing. Mystics walk away from the physical world, are not interested in chasing money, and they develop their own abilities, um, yeah, by having conversations or communications with the higher deities who
mm.
can assist them with knowledge we don't have while we're in the physical body.
Because we Indians always wonder how Westerners get attracted to Hinduism. So that's something we have no answer about. So you are the right
I have
person
an
to give
answer.
that answer. Yeah.
I can only answer for myself,
Yes.
um,
Mm,
because I know my
mm,
past lifetimes.
mm,
There was a priest in Kerala who told me that one of my lifetimes was as a Naga Sadhu in Rishikesh.
mm,
And then the Nadi astrology reading in Vaishtan Coil told me that one of my lifetimes was the son of a Brahmin in
mm.
the Chola dynasty.
Oh.
So, 2 lifetimes in India. Of course, I'm going to crave India.
Super, super.
Hinduism.
That's the correct answer. Because in Christianity and Islam, they have no idea about rebirth, so they can't give this answer. Because we know about this rebirth, if you have taken many births in India, obviously you will be inclined towards India. So
Yep.
that's the correct answer. That's the true answer, and
Yep.
I'm glad that I heard it from your mouth.
It's just sensible, isn't it? I've
Yeah.
had a few experiences that make me realize this is truth. So,
Mm.
and also, of course, the food in Tamil Nadu is the best in all of
Really?
India, right?
Wow.
Yes, idli, dosa, sambar, chutney. I learned how to make idli and dosa from scratch when I was there. I can
Wow.
make it myself. And the
Mm.
sambar with tamarind is
Mm.
the best.
Wow.
Mm, yeah.
But in your place, the difference between both food, what's the main difference between Tamil
Food.
Nadu food and Australian food? You just can't even compare, right? Yeah,
Indian food has flavor.
yeah, especially spicy. Spiciness is
Yeah.
missing in Western world, right?
Oh, spice
Mm,
in the Western world is just weird. They might throw some chili flakes on it, but it's not a proper combination of the spices, the masala, and everything is just so delicious.
mm,
It's completely different level of food in
mm.
India. It's very very good.
Right. And how about did you have any miracle experienced in your life that pulled you towards Hinduism? I believe you must have had.
Just my friend who introduced me to the Hindu gods 20 years ago
Mm,
and feeling those connections. I did have one very interesting experience with Shirdi Sai Baba,
mm,
my grandfather.
mm,
My friend told me, just look at this picture and meditate. And I was
mm,
like, what? This is 20 years ago. And I sat down with Shirdi Sai Baba's picture and meditated.
mm.
And the next meal, I was craving sticky rice and an egg.
Oh,
And I was like, what is this rice and egg? We don't eat this kind of thing in Australia. I couldn't figure out why I had this craving, but
mm,
it came over me so much that I
mm,
had to make this food, something
mm,
simple. And
mm,
then suddenly the picture of Shirdi Sai Baba popped into my mind. Oh,
mm.
okay, I'm having lunch with my grandfather.
I see.
I don't know how it worked, but it
Mm,
was for me it felt full in my heart, and ever
mm,
since then I knew he was watching over me. I've had many experiences
mm,
seeing the divine white light and in
mm,
different religions and different locations around the world and even in my meditations, and I think
mm,
those are the most fascinating, and what I wrote about in my book, Mysteries of a Modern Mystic,
mm,
because I document what happened on my spiritual journey in the awakening process, and absolutely fascinating. But one of the things I really enjoyed the most about Hinduism is feeling the power in the sacred temples in Tamil Nadu.
that's true.
Um, there was Rameshwaram and having the water thrown on and feeling the blessing of the gods and those ancient holy wells. I,
Mm,
I could just walk away from that feeling like all my karma had disappeared.
mm,
It was amazing just to feel that, and I highly recommend everyone going to all those temples, all your viewers in Tamil
mm.
Nadu who just,
Yeah,
I mean, me, foreigner, notice the
mm,
difference. They need to go to. It's
that's
like it's
true.
a
That's
big
true.
difference.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
mm,
absolutely amazing. There was another
mm,
temple with a really big Shiva
mm,
lingam, and I was just crying, crying, crying in
mm,
in this temple because I
mm,
could just feel the power of this ancient being.
mm.
The power of the gods are so miraculous. But I have to state again, though, there are some Hindus that are not really Hindu, right? They're
Mm,
it's like a tourist version of Hinduism. I've met some
mm,
people who are really doing the wrong thing by others. And one man I came across, and he was married for 5 years, and his wife would put a Rudraksha bead on him. You know, the Rudraksha beads
mm.
on him for a sacred 10-day ceremony. He would take it off, and he would go and have sex with foreigners. And
Oh,
yet, the next day, he would go into the Hindu temple and pray to Kali.
that's bad.
what kind of his what kind
Mm,
of Indian his wife doesn't know for 5 years. And I was absolutely in shock and broken because I thought he was a good person. I thought he was a Hindu. So he was
mm,
hiding behind this facade of and I've seen it in the Christian religion as well.
yeah, it
The
happens
Christian
everywhere.
men
Mm,
everywhere, right? So people
mm,
hide behind this facade of the religion saying, I'm this, but their actions are not being proper into spirituality. Every single religion has a
mm,
path to enlightenment.
that's true.
And it's up to the individual person to follow enlightenment, to follow the step by steps that they can find in their religion if they're following a religion,
Mm,
and they will find a path to a better life. But if they go off that path and do evil or wrong things, then they have a lot of karma, a lot of karma they have to go and face later on.
yeah, but
And
anyway,
that's the
why do
truth.
you, but I think the person you just said might be a strong devotee, but still they have no control of their mind, right? That might be the reason they are doing these wrong things. I
If
think.
they're a strong devotee, they wouldn't take this off during a sacred time. That's not a
Okay.
strong devotee. No.
Yeah.
You
Mm,
wouldn't do that during a sacred ceremony. I would not do this during a sacred ceremony. I'm very careful when I'm wearing this. And in fact, this is not my sacred one. This is the public one. My
mm,
sacred ones are always in hiding,
mm,
only when I'm doing sacred, because I know the power that they can contain. They've been to all the South Indian temples with me and going to other sacred places, and they
mm,
carry such power. You have to hold that power sacred and pure to maintain its divine essence, right?
yes.
And I think that's real spirituality. That's not just a fun version of spirituality. Like, yes, we can go and do yoga. There's beer yoga in the United States. Have you heard of this?
No.
Beer yoga.
What's the connection between beer and yoga? How do they do it?
I don't know. It's a
Uh,
selling point. I don't know. I did not look into it. I just thought it was funny. So there's always these tourist versions of things of
yes,
spirituality, and
that's
that's completely fine in
mm,
this world of
mm,
samsara and karma, because not everyone's ready for enlightenment right now. But
mm,
I myself would
mm,
like to see 1 million people gain the abilities and knowledge about how to raise their energy vibration so we can increase this conscious awareness on the planet, so people are more heart centered, more genuine and authentic. And the whole world would be like, imagine 1 million people gaining supernatural powers.
mm,
We wouldn't be limited anymore. We could just achieve anything. I mean, this is the true state of the human being.
that's
But we're so limited in this box. This is how we have to live right now.
yeah. But
I think it's funny.
is there any connection between celibacy and spirituality? It's,
Absolutely.
mm,
Absolutely. Yeah. Because there's certain patterns that come up. If you're, sexually active, there's certain patterns in your mind, your triggers and your emotions, your feelings that come up that will bring you into a lower state of vibration.
that's
So if you're being celibate, you're more focused on the journey, right? There's nothing distracting you. So it's just like chocolate. How much chocolate can you eat, and how high can you get spiritually if you're eating chocolate every day?
uh,
Or alcohol for that matter, anything.
mm,
You
yeah,
have to focus your mind completely. In Buddhism, there's this one pointed focus. In
mm,
Theravada Buddhism, one pointed focus, which is also yogi power. And if you can do one pointed focus and all your energies are focusing on that one thing, you can control the elements. Now, if you're not celibate and suddenly a girl walks by,
that's true.
you
So
can't do this anymore.
celibacy is very essential or the central part of being spiritualistic, right?
Uh, Central part?
Yeah.
You said central part
Is it
of,
not?
of being spiritual? Isn't it central?
Yeah.
We don't put that much focus on it.
Mm,
Central part is
mm,
the God source, right? The higher is nibbana. That's the central point, not celibacy. We want
yeah.
nibbana. We want
Yeah.
enlightenment.
Right.
Central point is not celibacy. Celibacy is only a drop in the ocean part of it.
Drop in the ocean.
Nothing big about it. No,
Okay.
drop in the ocean
But
part.
still,
There's
it's essential.
way more.
But still,
It's
it's
a
essential because being celibate is the first step towards spirituality, right?
is it?
Is
Oh,
it
I
not?
didn't know. Okay.
Be-
Different perspectives,
mm,
from different religions.
mm,
I just was reading a book in Buddhism, and it was
mm,
talking about, in Tibetan Buddhism, for instance, the great masters who can achieve supernatural powers had wives, children.
mm,
So is it central? No, it depends on your belief system, on your character, on your nature, on your spiritual teacher, and what religion you're part of, what the belief system is, what you're drawn to, what you're not drawn to. It's central, absolutely not. Drop in the ocean kind of way. They don't even pay attention to it anymore. Really
But
depends on what it's a
mm,
thing.
so, do you consider yourself to be the devotee of God Shiva because you have Rudraksh wearing?
They're part of my family.
Pardon?
They're part of my family,
Part of
Lord
my
Shiva and
family.
Parvati.
God Shiva.
Family.
Oh, that's your family. You love him
Yes.
than any other deity. Because Hindu is famous for having multiple deities, you know it, right? Krishna, Ram. like that.
Oh boy. Okay, we're getting this is a big topic. This one,
Yeah,
this is a big topic.
yeah, I
I
understand.
have
Mm,
a,
mm,
I have big love for everybody,
mm. But special love
everybody,
for God
everything.
Shiva. But special
No
love for
special, not everyone's special. Everyone's
everyone's
special.
special. Okay.
Everyone deserves the same amount. How can you love one child more than the other, or one father more than the other mother? Like I've got a few different, like grandfather Shirdi Sai Baba. I love him so dearly. I love Lord Shiva so dearly. I am in love with Lord Ganesha. I'm in love with him. He follows me around everywhere. And then there's this one and this one and this one and this one. How can I just love one? They're all so beautiful. You know, we're
Okay.
talking about everybody. The great saints around the world are so amazing. I mean, there's a recently Pandan Lama, which is another version of apparently of Kali. Kali is very special to me. I work with her regularly. You know, it's just not a devotee; it's a working relationship. You
Mm,
know, she's very good at getting rid of the evil atrocities of my ego.
mm, that's nice.
Just
Mm,
so, I mean, Lord Shiva is very powerful. He brings
okay.
in power, great power. Lord
Mm,
Ganesha removes obstacles, gets rid of destruction and things in your path, right? And then Kali also destroys or looks out for the evil ones that are trying to stop you. And
mm,
you know, there's amazing amounts of different beings in the power. So it just depends on who's in front of me at the time. Lord Shiva's in front of me, absolutely. I love him more than anybody. Lord Ganesha is in front of me, absolutely. I love him more than
mm.
anybody.
But one thing I get to know while I spend 30 minutes of time with you in this interview is you know much more than Indian Hindus about Hinduism. That's what I
No, no,
genuinely feel.
I don't.
That's true. That's
I,
true.
I,
Yeah.
but I
Mm,
only know it from my perspective. You know
yeah.
how deep Hinduism goes? It goes
Mm,
way deeper. I was reading the
mm,
Yoga Vishita and the
mm.
conversation between Rama and Vishita,
Wow.
and that is very, very powerful. That
Mm,
Lord Rama is talking about, you
mm,
know, this trials and tribulations of the physical world, and how he keeps getting caught in these struggles and miseries of the mind, and
mm,
Vishita has all the answers. And at least I
mm.
only got through one third of the book. I was too overwhelmed, I couldn't go anymore. No, this is Hinduism, it
Yeah.
goes so deep.
Yeah. So you are now into Ramayana. You are reading Ramayana now.
No, before I was
Okay.
last year. I was reading this one. The book is not with me right now. I gave it to a friend of mine to borrow. So, but I do need to. Maybe I can download it and now
Mm,
start reading it again. Very
mm.
powerful. Mm.
And how about Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita? Have you read those?
No, I have not gone into that one yet. I tried to get into Vrindavan
Okay.
twice. I could not go. I got stopped both times. I could not get into Vrindavan. So I'm waiting for the calling so I can connect with Lord Krishna, because I have not been able to connect. Like, I don't know.
Mm,
And you get the calling, like in Tiruvannamalai, you only get an invitation to go there.
mm,
I got the invitation, I was accepted, but I cannot get into Vrindavan yet. So maybe next time
mm.
we'll be able to get into Vrindavan.
But now you are not at all attracted to go to church at all.
To who?
To church, Christianity.
Oh, no.
No.
Nope, nothing.
Why so? Why so? Because you love all
Um,
Hindu gods, then why not Jesus Christ as well?
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ is there, but that's not part of the Christian church. The Christian church made a following around Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ studied in India to develop his superpowers, right?
Okay.
He studied in Rishikesh. The people, my yoga teacher, told us that Jesus Christ, had meditated on the mountains near Rishikesh,
Mm,
because he was trained here before he went back. And how do you think he got his powers of healing, his superpowers? He
mm,
learned them as a yogi. He was studying Vajrayana Buddhism.
mm,
Jesus Christ, yes,
mm.
absolutely, but not part of the Christian religion. Part of the Hindu religion, Jesus Christ is,
Yeah, that's true.
or
Mm,
Vajrayana Buddhism,
mm,
different powers. He was a yogi, yes, so
mm.
different version than the Christian religion of Jesus.
All right. Yes, sister.
They have a very watered down version in the Christian religion, very watered down version. In fact, they know very little compared to any of the other religions. I think, when you're first reincarnated as a human, you have to go through the religions in order to gain your knowledge. Christianity is the ones who first come here because they don't know anything else.
Right.
And then you develop through the religions, gaining more knowledge.
Mm. 1 second, sister.